With all that done, is there anything that's needing to be done, Ambassador? Pineleaf, I'm glad you and Gimli are here with us. It has been a bit overwhelming. We will continue to aid Durin's folk in the efforts to rebuild Erebor and heal the land surrounding it. But I would like to speak with the king under the mountain. I am grateful for the aid you and Gimli have provided my folk, but I wish to express my thanks to the king, who is worthy of his title. Will you meet me before the throne? I suppose I can do that. To the throne. Here we are. Hail, King Thorin III! Hail, King under the mountain! I am Sparkorth of the Stout Axes. Once I was counselor to Voskmund Greytooth, the former king of my folk, but his madness and greed led him from reason to ruin. We are a people without a leader, and though I now speak for my folk, I do not desire to lead them. I ask that of you, King Thorin. Servitude is still so fresh in our minds. We have always served the greater powers of Mordor, and once again we are bereft of the guiding hand of a king. I offer my people to you, to serve Durin's folk for the kindness that you have shown us. The Stout Axes shall be true friends of Durin's folk. I promise you this. And what is the king's reply? Your words are appreciated, Sparkorth of the Stout Axes. Durin's folk are honored to have you and your kin among us, and do not take my request for aid to mean that the Stout Axes will once again serve at the will of an oppressor. You are our friends and our guests, and I would not allow any to say otherwise. What you have endured is now a matter of the past. I bear no judgment against you or your kin for the crimes of your king and those he turned to his will. We are Durin's folk, have endured many hardships as well, and when the time is right, I shall tell you of them. Now, I must turn my attention to Erebor, and to restoring the kingdoms of the north. And what do we need to do this? Long have I known the troubles hindering Erebor, and time has not abated any of them. My father, Dain, strengthened our alliances and brought great wealth to the north. But before the end of his reign, he felt that something unknowable had begun to slip beyond his grasp. In truth, our crafts grew cruder and simpler, and monuments once majestic and without equal in this realm now stood in silent mockery of our declining skill. We have felt this loss for many years now, but alas, it was not the only cost we have borne with the passing of the years. Beast tends to the ravens as she always has, but they do not speak to Durin's folk as they once did. It is habit alone that keeps her at Raven Hill. Our friendship of old with the ravens has faded to naught, and now these Stout Axes come to Erebor seeking refuge and freedom from the oppressors of Mordor, and still a few among us would deny their own kin and cousins. These are troubles enough for any king under the mountain, but it falls upon me to resolve them, so resolve them I shall. And what shall we do to resolve them? I have thought much of Ambassador Sparkot's words. These Stout Axes have fled oppression and devastation, and now I hear there are dwarves in Erebor who would sooner spit upon them than welcome them as friends. This is not the way of Durin's folk. The Stout Axes are our kin, whether they believe it or not, and they must be treated as such. You and Gimli know well what the Stout Axes have suffered, and you know their minds as none among us do. Speak to the mistrustful few among us, and reassure them that the Stout Axes come to us as refugees and friends. I suppose I can do that. So let us speak with a few of these things. I also need to speak with the Brothy and Dees. Ah, hello there.
Stay a moment. Hear my words.
Have you a moment? In just 2 days, I've lost nearly 12 barrels of ale to thieves. It's always the same. I find the barrel emptied with a great big hole bored into the bottom of it. There's treachery afoot here, and I think those dreaded cave claws are to blame again, always sticking their noses where they don't belong. Knock on some of the barrels and give them a fright. That ought to drive them off. All right. Well then, we'll see if I could do something about that. Meanwhile, I should also look... Ooh. Something doesn't look right over here. Let's knock it down. Yeah. It's a cave claw, right? What are cave claws doing inside ale? Always being pestering. Well, this one's half drunk. Maybe it won't dive underground like the other ones do. Certainly smells like it's been swimming in ale. Oh well. Now, look for some ale-soaked cave claws and at the same time see if I could find some mistrustful dwarves. Hello there, Brothy. I've heard that you needed help with something.
Long live Thorin Stonehelm,
Hey!
King under the mountain!
Hail, Pineleaf! You have been sent by the King Thorin. What does he wish of me? Yes, he wishes to desire to reclaim dwarf-made weaponry lost in the battle. Yes, of course, of course. King Thorin and our smiths have spoken long on methods that might improve our crafting skill once more, but we have not yet attempted any such designs. It seems the time has come. As for the weapons lost in the fields of battle, I would ask that you seek them out. In the meantime, I shall speak with our smiths and make certain that the forges are prepared. Once you have gathered as many dwarf-made weapons as you can bear, deliver them to me. Alrighty. I shall see about that. Let's check out this barrel and see how it is. Knock, 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 knock. Ah, the familiar slush of ale. That one's fine. Oh, what's this book? A tome rests on this bench, left behind by someone. It seems ancient, like it might just turn to dust if handled too roughly. Several pages have been torn out and are missing. A poem is written on the page that was left open. Beneath the misty mountains deep, the ancient shadows hold their keep. Came Durin King, his crown of stars, to carve new halls, claim kingdom ours, above the dwarven forges glow, while unknown dangers lurk below. For many thousand years it slept in darkened depths where fell things crept, and then one day the stone was found, dark as night and perfectly round. Its beauty beckons but a glance, but ensnares the mind in a trance. Many were lost, driven insane, and then we unearthed Durin's bane. From Moria the Longbeards flee, in hand the stone that should not be. By Thrain's orders it is sealed, by secret doors, never revealed. Just the line of Durin may know, of secret stone, born of shadow. Heed this warning, do not seek it. This fell thing you cannot outwit. The stone must remain locked away. Do not seek the hidden doorway. Well, that's strange. That's quite strange. I wonder what that was all about. Hello there.
By my grandsire's beard,
Tome? What tome? I'm sorry, I know nothing about it. Perhaps you should ask the king. Yeah, alright, fine. I'll see about that. Hello there. I've heard you don't trust those stout hands. You are known to us, and I trust your words on this matter. Alright, that's good. He'll give them a chance then. Now let's look about some more casks and perhaps find out more about these mistrustful dwarves and help them a bit. Oh, hi, Bomber. How are you doing? Oh, Pineleaf, another word. I forgot to say something when you were last here. I have heard much of your skills in battle, but have you a keen eye? It is said that new veins of golden ore have revealed themselves in the aftermath of the battle. Ha! Perhaps we should be the slightest bit grateful for those Easterlings after all. Search rocky areas around Erebor and see if you can find any. If you uncover anything, deliver to me, and I shall see that Kree Thor knows well of your contributions to Durin's folk. Okay. Well, anything else he wants me to do? Nope, alright, just making sure he didn't call me for anything else. I checked out several of those casts, and yes, some of them did have cave claws in them.
Stay a moment. Hear my words.
Greedy little burrowers, that lot! Well, that ought to teach them not to meddle with our ales. And to think I considered requesting new barrels made of iron. Bah! It would turn my finest beers to swill! Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you want that. Well then, let's have a little word with the king. Your Majesty, I spoke with several of the mistrustful dwarves, and I also found this book lying around that talked about a stone that's been lost. What have you brought me? Ah! Amnubazur, the secret stone. Where did you find this? On a bench? I can hardly believe my eyes. Knowledge of the stone was passed down from father, but its location has been lost. I believe my people took the stone with them when they fled Moria, but not even I know where this secret door can be found. Pineleaf, I will trust you with this task because you have been a friend to my people before. I want you to find the secret stone and return it to me. The warnings were clear. This is a dangerous and powerful artifact, but I believe the risk is worth the danger. The craftsmanship of my people is fading, and we are desperate to find a solution. An ancient artifact of Khazad-dûm may be the solution. At the same time, it worries me that this secret knowledge was just left out for anyone to find. Someone may have a sinister intentions for it. This may be an impossible task. For all we know, the stone may be lost forever. But, should you manage to find it, please bring it to me. Perhaps the place to start is these 3 missing pages. See if you can find any of them around Erebor. Alright. I'll see, but I have a feeling that will take a long time. Let's see if we could find any of this equipment that was abandoned during the battle. And if that may help them to find out how to make things better and to restore their lost abilities. I believe that this should be enough. But before I turn these in, let's have a word with Dees. Must admit, I didn't pay attention to the ravens the last time I was here. But yes, there are quite a number of them up here. Hello, Dees. How are the ravens doing? What do you want? Thorin wishes to rebuild a friendship with the ravens. Ah, so he thinks he might put all things right now, does he? He does not seem to be concerned about the minds of ravens when Dain was king under the mountain. He must know the truth of it. You see, the line of Kark nears its end. Rorak is dead, and his children are dead. And now Arka, daughter of Kroar, is all that remains. I tend to her lesser kin as best as an old dwarf may, but she is the last chief of the great ravens, and it has been many years since we last spoke in the forgotten ways of Durin's folk. She has gone elsewhere, beyond my sight. I do not know if she will ever return, but if the king under the mountain wishes to heal the wounds of time and once again share true friendship with the ravens, it will be no simple errand. I can speak with them if they would still hear me, but they will not listen without the offerings that once adorned their homes. I have seen sparkling trinkets borne by the Easterlings that come to the north, and I believe the ravens may find them to their liking. Bring me those trinkets, and we shall see if the ravens still desire friendship with Durin's folk. And why am I not surprised that killing Jangavar would be involved in this somehow? I don't know. Seems to be a common theme. Ooh, gold. I think this is what I was sent to find. I wonder how much of it is around here. Ah, Jangavar. I wonder if they have any trinkets. Hello. Now, you got two choices here. You'd either surrender your trinkets that would be nice for ravens to have, or I could kill you and take the trinkets from you. That doesn't sound very heroic to me. Maybe I need to come up with better lines. How about this? No, that won't work either. Surrender to the folks of Dale. Go home. Yeah, go home. How about going back to your lands? I'm sure you really want to go back there. Yeah. Right? No. Alright, fine. Fine. Oh. He had a trinket. And what better place to find Jangavar with trinkets than at a Jangavar camp, right? Sure, we'll find a few around here. Probably with a few other people looking for trinkets too. Beast really sent quite a number of people after trinkets, I must say. She really wants those ravens to get some. Everywhere we can get trinkets, she will find them. Or at least half the people in the Dale Lands will. Trinket season is open! Come get your trinkets! Made specially for ravens here in the Dale Lands. I am back, ma'am. Will any of these do? I cannot give the king under the mountain what he seeks. Not without time. The ravens must decide if such an offering pleases them, and perhaps one day the younger dwarves of Durin's folk will witness the return of Arka and the friendship that was lost. It will take time. Many things would. Here are the weapons you asked for.
A glorious day!
It may not seem it to the unskilled eye, but a few of these weapons were forged long ago. They will be safe from the hands of the Easterlings here in Erebor, and serve as a reminder of the skill of Durin's folk. These newer weapons were not crafted in the same way as those weapons of old, and they have seen great damage from the war. I shall have them reforged using the new methods our skills have been devised with King Thorin. Let us hope the King Thorin's guidance will restore the works of their former glory. In addition to this, I have here the gold you're seeking.
A glorious day.
Yes, well, what do you know? It seems Erebor's roots spread even further than we thought. Thank you, Pineleaf. I shall inform the king at once. And speaking of the king, I better tell him about the results of my work. Your Majesty, it looks like it'll take some time before we know how successful everything was. You have done much for Durin's folk, Pineleaf. We have had little time to celebrate our victories or acknowledge the sacrifices made to achieve them, and I would take this day to honor them. When the war was ended, I sent missives far and wide to all the dwarves of Durin's folk. Let us hope that many traveled to join us here in days of revelry. And what will he have us do next? We'll find that out in the next episode of Pineleaf in the Northern Kingdoms.